This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the zone in Riyadh, where you can buy Usyk vs Fury, DAZN.com/TSG. I'm with Mr. Andy Lee. Good to see you, my man. A pretty cool background that we got today. A couple of things I want to rattle through. I want to start off with last night. I saw you and Joseph Parker briefly at the Ring Gala dinner. How brilliant is it just being surrounded by absolute boxing royal? You look left, there's Lennox, you look right, there's Klitschko. It's pretty good last night.
Yeah, sometimes you go to these things, not in Saudi, but I've been to similar things before, different fights, and you're just waiting to get home, you know, really. But really, last night was a special night. The atmosphere in the room, the good feeling for boxing, and to see, you know, an institute like the Ring magazine being recognised and being brought back to new heights. It was wonderful to be there. So many great champions in the room. It was a real pleasure.
What have you got that's synonymous with the ring in your career? Have you got like a moment that stands out involving the ring? Be it something you read as a child, something during your fighting days, something during your media days?
I was Ring Prospect of the Month once. I think I was 7-0 at the time, and it was a highlight for me because I always sort of look at that from even before I turned pro. I'd always read the ring and see who they were picking for the next, you know, for the future. And I was lucky enough to get that, so that's one of my highlights.
Yeah, I reckon they got that decision spot on. Right, Riyadh, Usyk versus Fury 2. Start quite broadly with the question. Where's your money at second time round, Andy?
I'm with Tyson. I'm in Tyson's corner. I'm with Tyson. I backed the man 100%. First one didn't go away. It was close. Didn't go Tyson's way, but he's a lot fitter, a lot stronger, and a lot more focused. More focused. Everyone has seen and has acknowledged how focused he is. So he's in a great place physically and mentally, and I'm excited for you guys to see what he's been doing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people seemed a bit confused at Tyson's demeanour as such, but it does look like pure focus. He hasn't said much. I know there was a long stare down yesterday, but what he was saying was pain, destruction. He's made his objective quite clear, but yet there were still some people who were quite puzzled by Tyson earlier on in the week.
People are always reading too much into, like, you know, I think he wears his hat on his sleeve for most of the time. I mean, what he says, he genuinely believes, and he's always had to sell fights and be this character. And now he's just focused on winning. All of that's been, you know, he's done it all before. Like he said himself, he did 8 hours talking at the press conference in London. So it's all been done. And now it's just time for fighting.
Obviously, what goes on in the ring on Saturday night is what counts. But I guess it's what you put into the training camp that counts in terms of what you're going to get out in the ring. That training camp in Malta, I know, it was a closed shop. Don't want to give too much away. But can you give us an insight into bits of Tyson's camp and what sort of Tyson Fury we're going to get on Saturday?
I can't really do that.
I thought so. I tried. I've tried nipping at a couple of the lads this week, and I've all had the same answer.
Just know that he's in great shape and he's ready to go.
Yeah. Does he have to be aggressive in this fight?
He can do whatever he wants. I think he can be aggressive or he can box. He showed in the last fight enough that he can box. So Tyson has many ways he can win the fight.
Yeah. In terms of this fight in comparison to the last, again, a bit of a broad question. Would you say it's easier or more difficult because you've got a fighter like Usyk who kind of processes what a fighter's doing? You've got a fighter like Fury who's just shared 12 rounds with Usyk. Knowing Usyk, but Usyk knowing you, does it make this fight more difficult or more simple for Tyson?
No, I think Usyk, I think they'll both be a lot better this fight, even though the level was so high in the first fight. I think Usyk will be buoyant knowing that he's won one fight already, but Tyson has a lot to prove, and he's always dangerous in rematches, Tyson. We've seen what he does in rematches, so yeah, I'm with Tyson 100%. No matter what question you ask me here, it's going to be a positive for Tyson, so there you go.
I was going to say, I can ask you about what goes on in camp, I can ask you about what's going to go on in the ring. I know what response I'm going to get. What would it mean to Tyson, do you think? Because obviously 3-time heavyweight champion of the world sounds brilliant, but you know, you don't have to know boxing to know kind of the burden that Tyson's had on his shoulders, not just from himself, from others as well. To walk away from Riyadh, a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, what would that mean to him, and where would that put him in amongst the greats, one of which he already is?
Yeah, he's already a Hall of Famer, Tyson. I think it's more, I don't think he thinks about the legacy. I think it's more personal for him just to get this win, prove to himself not anybody else, that he's beaten this man, and the belts are a huge bonus.
Obviously, every man he's been in the ring with prior to Usyk, he's beaten. Do you feel like he needs to retire? Not that that would be next. Do you feel like Tyson needs to retire knowing that every man that ever stepped in the ring with him, he has won over?
I don't know if he needs it. I don't know, but it's always nice to have, isn't it? Like Lennox Lewis, it's a great thing that Lennox can say that even though he lost, he came back and beat those guys.
Yeah. Are we going to get an exciting fight on Saturday?
I think cannot be. It's going to be a spectacle. The first fight exceeded their expectations, and this one should do the same.
Yeah. I can't wait for the follow-up. Can't wait for Saturday night. I've got to ask you about Joe Parker. I was actually there when him and Daniel had a little meet, all very friendly, in the hotel yesterday. I can't imagine we're going to get much bad blood in this fight, but I'll tell you what a fight Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois is.
Yeah, it's for the purists, really. You got two of the most in-form heavyweights in the world. Daniel's probably the in-form heavyweight right now, and the run he's on, Miller, Hergovic and Joshua, great wins. But in Joseph, he's fighting a clever fighter, an experienced fighter, great boxer, very coordinated, great heart. And hopefully we'll see some bigger punching from Joseph. But it's a great matchup. Both
Is that
guys.
a hint that Joseph's going to stand there and
No, I just think
trade when he can with
no,
Daniel?
I think you're going to have to get some respect from Dubois at some stage. It's a great fight. They're both ways, guys. Like if you stand there and trade with Dubois, especially early, you're probably going to come off a loser because he'll put you on the floor. But so that's how Dubois can win the fight. But Joe's clever boxing, smart approach, ability to nullify opponents, which he's done now against two of the biggest punchers in the division in Wilder and Shang. It's something we look to continue.
Yeah. Can you give us a little insight into how a fighter, and not specifically for Joseph and Daniel, I know that's a game plan you'll be kind of cooking up at the moment, but how a fighter, when coming up against good punchers, just a quick insight into how you can gain that respect without, like I said,
no, you've got to hurt them.
You've
got to hurt them as well. You got to hurt them. Let them know that they just can't throw at will. But always being ready and staying ready. You would be surprised how many fighters at the top level take breaks, mental breaks, physical breaks, and it's instinctively. Your opponent can recognize it instantly, and they attack. Joseph we've worked on it. This is one of my main goals with working with Joseph, was for him to be always ready and always in position to punch. What that does is stops your opponents from attacking or being ready to attack.
So interesting. So there's like little cues that you can pick up on from a fighter just in that nanosecond where you go.
Oh yeah, you don't even have
lapsed.
When you're boxing and you're at your best, you're in a flow state. You're not thinking about, well, I'm going to jab now, I'm going to throw this right hand, left, right hook, whatever. You flow, and it's all instincts.
Yeah, I can't wait. Another brilliant fight. The heavyweights really delivering at the moment. Just a quick one on that February 22nd card, by the way. I know we like to get carried away. Sometimes you get the nostalgia effect where we think the things in the past are the best. We've heard it many a time. This card could be one of the best cards ever. Is that something that you would echo, February the 22nd?
I think so, yeah. I think so. From top to bottom, they're all main event fights.
A bit disappointed you can't be a fan that night for a
Yeah,
little
or
bit.
commentating, but no, it's going to be a fantastic night. They're really doing great stuff here. Riyadh Seasons changed boxing, Ducky Al Sheikh's changed boxing, and Joseph, myself, Tyson, all the fighters have been, and the fans have benefited from it.